Okay, Big Brother fans, who's going to win this season? You think you know, but we have with us right now the people who really know, because we are with our contest winner for reality TV from Gold Derby, Denton Davidson, who has recently been so brilliant he correctly predicted The Bachelorette, and so you think you can dance. Denton, who wins Big Brother and why?
I think Derrick wins Big Brother by a landslide. He's manipulated everybody the entire game and has had other people doing his dirty work, and I don't think they even see it coming. So none of the players left in the game think he's a threat, but everyone in the jury house that they've shown all agree that Derrick is playing the best game. I think it's not even close.
But Marcus, I know you agree with that Derrick's probably going to be the winner, but you wrote a piece the other day that got a lot of attention and a lot of hits and nasty comments about, could that dame win? What's her name?
Oh, Victoria.
Victoria. I mean, could it be? In other words, could something so ridiculous happen where they all go, "Oh, well, she's such a waste of time that I'll bring her along because I can beat her later"? Could something like that happen? Really?
Right, and I'm actually surprised by how many people are actually on the Victoria train. They're rooting for her to win. I don't know if maybe because she's the only girl left. There are 4 guys and her, or if it's maybe because she's kind of funny on the show. She's not really taking all this too seriously. But if she makes it, let's say if she makes it past this week, the Big Brother rewind week that everyone just absolutely hates, if she can survive this week, she all of a sudden becomes this vote that people can use to their advantage. Like, let's say Frankie and Caleb want to team up against Cody. They use her as an extra vote to get him out. Same way with the other side, Derrick and Cody want to vote out either whoever's left. They could use her as that third vote, so she could become really important. She could actually win this thing, even though I don't think it's going to happen. I'm also on the Derrick bandwagon because he is so good. He seems to be the only person that knows there's a jury outside, because everyone else is just playing so stupid. Derrick has helped vote out all of these jury members, but they all still like him. He's done it in a way that they appreciate his gameplay.
Okay, so another Denton, you are a marvel at this kind of chess game that these reality shows represent. Is there some way Victoria can pull this off by simply by blundering forward?
I think if it was maybe somebody else, but I don't think she has a lot of friends on the jury. I think it could happen if it was a different person, but I don't think she could win. If I was still in the house, I would threaten that. I would tell someone, if you take Victoria and vote me out, I will vote for her to win. Absolutely. I would use her as a threat if I was still in the house, but I don't think she can. I don't think she can win. I think Derrick's done one thing this season I don't think I've ever seen on Big Brother. He has not even been on the block one time, and it's almost over. I've never seen someone not ever be on the block.
Right. And you know what? What he did this week that just was so genius? He used Victoria in a way that, you mentioned a chess game, Tom. He is playing her like a chess piece. He said, I want you to go up to Frankie, and I want you to pretend to cry in front of him, so that if Victoria, if you get voted out, that Frankie will think that, everyone in the jury will hate me. It was a genius move, and no one else is even talking to Victoria. She is a jury vote, people. You need to talk to her and smooth things over with her so that if she goes to the jury, she'll vote for you to win. He's the only one doing this.
Who's in second place? If not Derrick, who wins then?
Well, I think the second best player is Frankie, but he has to win every competition, otherwise they are going to get rid of him. They know he's going to be hard to beat. He's won the most competitions. I think Derrick and Frankie are the only deserving winners, but I think it's going to be hard for Frankie to get there. But in my mind, he's the second best player in the house.
Marcus, a lot of people are grumbling about this season. Do you agree that it's a letdown?
It has a good cast. It has whoever cast this show is really good. However, since week 1, right, Vincent, the same alliance has been in control. You know who's going home every week. Most times you can predict who's going to be nominated for eviction every week. In that respect, it's boring. If you can predict who's going home a week in advance, why even watch it? And that's what's happening.
What do you think?
It's so predictable. I think it's been one of the worst seasons I've ever seen. Just because it's so predictable, and they do the same thing. Nobody's turning on anybody. They've been very loyal, and all of these strong guys have been like getting rid of all these weak players, and then as they're going out their door talking about how big of a threat they just got rid of, and they got rid of like some 100-pound girl who's never won a competition, and they act like they're doing a great job, but I just want them to turn on each other.
Well, we saw a lot of people turn on Frankie this week when you wrote a blog article that said, why do you, to the reader out there, why do you hate Frankie so much? Run through the poll results, the answers and the poll results. Do you have them in front of you there? Or can you pull them up? And tell me, pull them up. And then while you're looking through the 5 reasons that were among the options that people could choose, give us the results and tell us whether or not you're surprised by the poll result.
All right, so I have the results. The biggest poll result was that he's arrogant, and I kind of added he knows his fellow competitors are weak, just because I think people really hate him because he's arrogant. They don't necessarily think the other competitors are weak, but they are. They never win anything. So, but he's very arrogant. That's the #1 answer. The second answer is actually I don't hate Frankie. And the third reason why people hate Frankie is his flamboyant personality is too much to handle, which I find interesting because there was quite a few comments that said, what a ridiculous reason that people hate Frankie. That's not true, but it actually got a solid % of the votes.
Do you think people started turning on him when he helped vote out Donnie, and then that next episode he looked at the camera and he was talking directly to America and said, you know what, we're better off without Donnie, he's dead weight. I mean, Donnie was a fan favorite. People wanted Donnie to win, and when you talk to America and say, America, I'm right, you're wrong, I think that's when people turned on him.
I agree. I think that was definitely a turning point. There were other house guests that wanted Donnie out more than Frankie did, but I think that comment rubbed people the wrong way, and he's kind of gotten more and more arrogant, or at least they're showing more of that later in the season, so I think he just rubs people the wrong way with his kind of a cocky attitude.
Yeah, that's the next poll result answer, is that he turned on good old Donnie, 18%. And then we have the flamboyant personality, then Donnie. What's next? I don't have my glasses on then.
Then the Ariana effect, and then losing by a landslide it doesn't seem like anyone really cares that he's winning all the competitions. It didn't seem to really strike a chord.
I'm kind of bored by the fact that he wins everything, especially this rewind. We haven't really talked about it much, but they're replaying all the competitions from last week. They're replaying them this week. So since Frankie won them all last week, there's a good chance he can win them all this week. I don't watch the spoilers or anything, so I know that maybe the competitions have already passed, but we haven't seen them on TV. But I mean, I think he said he won 3 in a row, and he won 9 total. The second place is who? Caleb won 5 competitions, so he really is a competition beast.
And one of Caleb's 5 wins was the one that he sat out on trying to throw it, but Frankie won by himself. So one of Caleb's win is actually Frankie's win that Caleb just gets credit for.
That's a good point. What do you make of the rewind twist?
I think it's boring. I think it's too late. I think it would have been interesting had they done it 4 weeks ago when there was a lot more players in the house, and it could have made a difference if someone completely in a different alliance won. But I don't think it's going to change much. It could hurt Frankie if he doesn't win. They could get rid of him. So I think that's the only thing that could really shake up, is it could end up sending Frankie home.
I have never seen Big Brother. It was the original, wasn't it, of all these shows? Why is it a compelling show to watch?
It's the people, people from different backgrounds having to work together. I like it because of the alliances that always form. Some of them are just unlike this year. Some of the alliance sometimes in the house there are two big alliances that go at each other. Those are the best seasons when it kind of flip flops, team to team. If you like Survivor because of the gameplay aspect and the strategies, Big Brother is that times five.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot more scheming and backstabbing and options because they have nothing to do but sit in that house and talk about all the think in their mind all the paranoia and all the ways they can get back at each other. I mean, on Survivor they're thinking that too, but they're also starving, they're hungry, they're trying to survive. So Big Brother, their only concentration is how can I get someone else at the door and get further in the game.
Does this show have any redeeming qualities at all?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
No.
Jesus.
It's guilty TV. I mean, it's not quite MTV trash TV, but it's never won an Emmy. I don't think it's ever been nominated for an Emmy. And the show is fine with that. They're not here to win Emmys. They're here to entertain us 3 times a week, and then as soon as it's over, you forget about it.
Yeah.
My God. Would either of you ever appear as a contestant on this show? Knowing what you would have to endure?
I don't know. I think it lacks the cachet of something like Survivor or Amazing Race. I think those would be the 2 shows I would do. Although, on Survivor you have to eat all those bugs and eat the worms. That's not something I would be interested in.
I would do it in a second. I would be there. Absolutely. I would love to get in there.
And which player from this season would you be most like, do you think?
From a mental standpoint, I think I agree with how Derrick does things, but I would be a lot more competitive in competitions. He doesn't win, and I don't think he even tries that hard a lot of times. I think he is now that it's getting towards the end, but I would hope that I would try to win more competitions than that. So I don't know that there's a player this year that I would really relate to at all.
Answer your own question, Marcus. What about you?
I would like to think that I would be, mentally just as strong as Derrick, but once you're in that situation and you have people telling you something, I'm kind of a gullible person in real life, so I might believe everything they tell me. I could be either the first one out or I would win. I don't think I would be anywhere in between. But so yeah, Derrick, I think.
I'll admit it, you're Frankie without the pink hair. That's a scheming, conniving, betraying everybody.
I think I would betray people toward the end. Not at the beginning, but I wouldn't be as arrogant as him. I'm very humble in real life, so I don't think I would ever be. If people hated me, it wouldn't be because I was arrogant.
Okay. Any final thoughts before we sign off here? Who do you want to win? You both say Derrick will win. He's also the one you want to win, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I do want Derrick to win. I think it would be sad if somebody else won. I don't think anyone else deserves it, unless Frankie wins. If Frankie can get Derrick out and win, I would be fine with Frankie winning. If any of the other 3 won, I would be disappointed.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, let's look at Gold Derby's odds for a second. All of Gold Derby thinks that Derrick will win. Second place, they have Cody. Cody's someone we haven't really even talked about. Victoria is in 3rd place to win. 4th place is Caleb. And poor Frankie. Actually, no, Frankie and Caleb are tied for last place, so they're both in 4th or 5th place, however you look at that. But Cody, what's Cody doing that has so many people rooting for him then?
I think he's likable. He really doesn't rub anyone the wrong way, and I think there's a good chance that if Derrick had to, Derrick would take Cody to the end, or Cody would take Derrick to the end. I think they're kind of a pair, and I think they will stay together. So I think the odds are is that Cody will get second, and therefore maybe that's why he's ranked second.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. He's very, very likable. And what about the whole, before we sign off, the Team America twist this year? Is it a good twist or a bad twist? I kind of like it. I would like it more if Donnie was still in it. And you know, all the challenges that they failed were the challenges where it would influence their game, where they would have to vote someone out, maybe they didn't want to, or put someone up. Those are the ones I wanted them to keep doing, and those are the ones they would always fail.
Yeah, they needed challenges that would affect the game. I mean, when they were challenged to put up a physical threat, they still just put up the most physical girl. Like they put Amber up. I'm like, really? Like Caleb was sitting right there. Put him up. They put they put this girl up that they're picking on, who didn't do anything, and they're making up reasons why she's a threat, like they did all year. So.
Yeah, I agree. That the physical threat one, they could have really. But the ironic thing is they actually won that week because they managed to convince the producer that Amber was some physical threat, but she didn't win anything. It's ridiculous.
Okay, we will wrap it up here, and we will pick up at the future more exciting, insightful, and prophetic discussions of the worst of reality TV. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.